Go.
Man. Hey guys. Yeah, Friday Night Live tonight, special live. This plane crash was just insane. So I felt had to cover it. Had to cover this, and there's other news going on too, so I'll cover that later as well in this live. But today it's just what is happening. I mean, the last few days, there's I think it's been 3 or 4 planes that have landed weird or crashed. Obviously, the one in DC that hit the helicopter, which is all over the news. There was another one I didn't even hear about it. This one happened in Pennsylvania. It's very small plane, only 6 passengers, but that's not the craziest part. The craziest part is kind of how it happened. So I'm going to cover that and we're going to go through it. But I'm telling you, something's going on. Again, I don't believe in coincidences. When there's almost never plane crashes in America, it's just not. We have such a good system. And even if like Trump was saying, like there's DEI and I know there's all that, there's incompetent people. I know there's definitely truth to all that. But for this all to happen within the first 2 weeks of the Trump administration, back to back to back, that's not, there's something going on. And I can't speculate as to what yet, but it's pretty clear there's something much bigger going on here. So anyways, let me say happy Friday night to some people in this chat real quick. And then we'll get moving here. So Casink was on early before I could fix my internet problems. So welcome Casink, number 1, US1. What's going on? Donkey, yes, another crash, unfortunately. Jim Boswell's 25 miles from there. That's wild. He says 2 crashes in 2 days seems very fishy. I agree. KJB, where's the Epstein list? No, it's going to be accurate when it comes out. What's up, Hobbs? Troy, man, Drew, Savalas. So now what? It is getting real. Butters, Hobbs, Alan Krentz. What's going on? Bow Tie, Alex, Just Mike, Toe Cramp, Chad Yunkin, BM Pro, Candace, The One, What to Do, Kim Wiley, Mark R, Randy Albert, my man. Thank you, Michael Tucker. Brett Montgomery made it late. Thomas Dubois. I love it. Good to see you guys. Danny, Jigals, Jim Boswell. Got some Canadian beer. Nice. Kathy, what's going on? Country. Yep, something's going on. So lots of members. Love it. And a lot of members have joined the what's it called? Discord now. So it's getting more fun in there. Really good. You like the new background? Thank you, Marco. I appreciate that. And hey guys, I don't know if you noticed, but there's something else fixed. Can you tell? You who've been watching me for a while? What's better? Just other than the background, what else is better? I fixed something today, and I hope you all notice. Okay, let's go over here. All right. Greg, come on, man. Not plane crashes like this, dude. I follow the news very closely. I am all... you're talking about little teeny planes. Little private planes, not jets, okay? Not jets. Listen, you don't play that game. Don't play that game. That's ridiculous. I fixed my mic. The sound is better. Just Mike got it. Of course, just Mike got it. So, all right. I still wear my Niners hat. How dare you? No, not my beard. It's the sound. You guys notice the sound's much better? There was a setting I needed to fix, and I went deep diving on it, and I fixed it because I was tired of my sound so muffled. Okay. Yeah, there's a remote control. There's all these theories right now, but I'm not going to jump on any theories. All right. So check this out. Check how this plane crashed. This is not normal. And this certainly is not how 300 times a year. Okay. You want the green screen crease fixed more? The green screen looks good. What are you talking about? Get out of here. You could have offended me. No, you're good. Yeah, see, thank you, Stony. He says the sound is much better. I appreciate it. All right. Look at this. You see that? Holy smokes. That is not normal. Now, I heard it hit a gas line, but it also looked like it's on fire when it's coming down, how bright it is. I use OBS and YouTube. All right, but look at, okay, you see that? It's like a fireball right there. Look at that. That's wild. And this boom is just insane. Look at that initial explosion. This is a very small plane. That sounds very nice. Thank you. Like we're talking, it was a jet, but it was what, a Lear jet? Six passengers, like not small, a medical plane. Yeah. And just, this is nuts. And then it continues. Look at that. That's like a movie. I mean, people. Yeah, oxygen takes full fuel. I'm just saying, like this, we go from 2 days ago, was it 2 days ago now, or is it yesterday? I can't remember. So much has been happening, but you literally could watch the helicopter just almost fly purposely into the plane by the video looked. It looks like it's just going straight there. And boom in the sky, both crash together. And now this, where it's just a massive explosion. I'm sorry, but this doesn't happen in back-to-back days. It just, this is not, something else is going on here. And I'm not out here throwing what kind of conspiracies. I don't believe in coincidences. Maybe it's as simple as air traffic controllers are horrible right now, and so two of these happen. Maybe it's that simple. I highly doubt it, but maybe it is. Okay, I'm not out here trying to say something 100% is happening, but the way these are going down, it seems like it's hard to believe that something's not more coordinated in some way, shape, or form here. I mean, this is just. I've seen a lot of videos of plane crashes before. Okay, a lot is a stretch. I've seen videos of plane crashes before. That is not normal. Okay, that kind of like the explosion continuing to go, that is not normal. All right, and so even if you hit a gas line, I mean, my God. So. And yeah, it could have been the oxygen. Obviously, that could all feed into it. But the timing, the way it hits exactly the right spot where it hit a gas line, it just, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but it's crazy. There's more footage here. Look at this. I mean, here's a guy recording it on his phone. This is where you can see much more how fiery it is. Oh, actually, maybe not. It's over here. Listen to the sound on this, though. I'm going to turn off my mic so you can hear this.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
My God.
Oh my God! Oh my God! La ilaha illallah! There's a plane, bro!
Like, wow. So, I mean, Godspeed. We pray for all the 60 families who lost people yesterday. We pray for the families who lost people tonight. There's been kids on these planes. It's horrible. These are atrocities. It's absolutely, it's unfathomable. And this is going to, I mean, if this keeps going, or even if it doesn't keep going, this is going to significantly affect people's confidence in air travel in the next few days. Here's another one. We can just see how it comes in like a missile almost. Do you see that up there? Look at that. I mean, this is dark. This is nighttime. Planes don't light up like that, especially not smaller jets. This is nuts. Let me catch up on some of your comments here just a second, guys. But just wow. I mean, Obviously on the weaker cameras, it makes that more fuzzy, just boom. But you don't get but the way, to me, what's crazy is just how lit up it is. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe it broke, maybe something blew up, an engine or something that was coming down, but wow. Country says, yeah, that fireball is what you see in the movies. In the movies, they detonate gallons of gasoline. So yeah, that could just be it could be just the plane with all the gas and oxygen hitting that gas line, but the just the odds of it hitting so perfectly on a gas line like that, it's wild. But then, it is possible. Again, I don't believe in coincidences, so there's something that happened here. There's a reason why this has happened back-to-back days, whether it's a conspiracy, whether it's attacks, whether it's sending a message as somebody wrote, or whether it's just awful people doing their job and all of a sudden it's hitting all at the same time. There's something going on here. It's not a coincidence. But just these things are too weird. Like the helicopter yesterday, the way it was spinning in circles, not like spinning in circles like that, but it was actually traveling in these small circles around for a while before it saw the plane, and then it just drove right into it and hit. I mean, things are insane. It's insane. Just Mike says, carrying oxygen. Country says, no blinking light, so it doesn't appear to be a running light. Exactly. Hobbs says a pediatric kid on board had life-saving treatment. Angel flight. That's horrible. That's horrible. Is this a hack? I mean, that's the kind of thing, that's where the conspiracies come in. It's way too soon to know anything like that. But theoretically speaking, yeah, these could be targeted takeovers now with the systems they have. They can remote control certain vehicles. There was a crazy video the other day of a guy training, this 2 or 3 months ago, training in DC, just controlling a Black Hawk helicopter with a remote control. There could be coordinated EMPs. It's just the craziest stuff, man. It's a Michael Bay kind of trash. I know. EMPs theoretically could. Yeah, targeted EMP could do this. Toe cramp, I think it could be the CIA. Yeah, we're going to talk about Brennan here in a moment. So now it says, never seen a plane crash like that. I agree. I agree. How is that guy filming point directly? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird stuff. There's a lot of footage of this. I can tell you that. Country says, did I notice there was no massive shockwave? Sounds more like a bunch of gasoline exploding. Yeah, let's go back to the one where we really heard it. Is this the one?
What the hell?
So you kind of hear the boom. That might have been the shockwave, or that could have just been a pop. You can definitely hear, sound travels slower than light. So you can hear the engines screaming right before it crashes. And then the pop.
Allahu Akbar! Allah!
So crazy, man. So crazy. Thomas says, clouds illuminate explosion, making it look bigger as rain. Well, I agree with that. I mean, this is a good, clear picture of it. Okay. And you're right. I know that wasn't an explosion up 700, 1,000 feet, but still the way it lit up the clouds is nuts. Brett says, I do claims on smaller aircraft and you need the maintenance records. In recent years, I've seen a more relaxed status on routine maintenance. Jet fuel or green gas can burn up to 1,500 degrees. So, there you go. That could be the DEI thing, like Trump's saying, just like with what was happening in Boeing. Brett says the helicopter over DC was completely pilot error. Are you sure it's completely pilot error? I mean, I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying, should we be that quick to just say it's definitely that? Yeah, that was a jet sound before. Danny Simpson's episode, Homer's ambulance wreck, stretcher falls off cliff type. Look, not funny, horrible thought comes to mind. Maybe a bird flew in the edge. I mean, yeah, we're going to hopefully find out more soon. To me, what's most interesting, guys, what's most interesting about what we're seeing and what's happening in all this is the fact that it's back to back. And that to me is that's where my spider sense tingles. Okay. one happens, and like yesterday, it's totally possible that one is pilot error and it was a freak accident. It's still, I mean, the odds of it being in Washington, D.C., right after the Trump inauguration, Black Hawk helicopter involved, is just, there's a lot of things coming together there that are just like, really? That being said, it's still possible. But this happening just right after, it's craziness. It's craziness. And so, again, we've learned, and I hope you all learn, like, we can no longer live in that place where we just accept everything at face value. We can no longer live in that place where we say, just a coincidence. It's just an accident. We can't do that anymore. We've learned too much. We've come too far. So I feel like it's our duty to be skeptical until proven otherwise. I really do. We need to come from that perspective now. I didn't used to be that guy, but now I am. And I've just seen too much. Toad says, remember when they said a few years ago, we, the intel agencies, have 12 days to Sunday to talk about Trump watching out? I don't remember that. I remember when Chuck Schumer warned him about the intelligence agencies going after him. Brett says a helicopter in DC uses a different system, fixed wing aircraft flying too high for approach of commercial aircraft. Dulles Airport combined with DC is over congested airport. Well, I agree with everything you just said there. Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. So anyways, I mean, let's pray for these people, pray for their families, pray this stops happening, and pray definitely that it's not a tax, that really is just error and mistakes that can be fixed. That's what we really want for them. Because the last worst case scenario is that this is something coordinated and much worse. So, Wicked says, for those that never knew what insurance gets you when you purchase your flight ticket, it's this private jet service. They'll fly you in a private jet back to America in urgent medical condition. Wow. I didn't know that. That's good to know, Wicked. Thank you. All right. In slightly like less somber news, I want to cover Trump on the tariffs today, so Trump already announced tomorrow was going to start the tariffs on Mexico and Canada, but then he dropped some more bombshells and a bunch of people were interviewing him. So let's play this clip. I got a couple clips to play from Trump, actually.
I had almost no inflation, and yet I charged hundreds of billions of dollars of tariffs to countries. And think of it, I had almost no inflation, and I took in $600 billion of money from other countries. And tariffs don't cause inflation, they cause success. They cause big success. So we're going to have great success. I had almost no inflation.
All right, so there's that one, and then one more.
250.
This one's a little longer.
It's the same thing. We have a $250 billion deficit, and we have a lot of people coming into the border, and now we've largely stopped that, but we've stopped that ourselves. I think they've done a fantastic job. You've seen the numbers, they've dropped to almost zero. But we've suffered under the past administration for years and years. We've suffered with millions of criminals coming into our country. Criminals, people from jails from all over the world. They come through Mexico and they come through Canada too. A lot of them come through Canada, and a lot of fentanyl comes through Canada. And China makes the fentanyl. China makes the fentanyl, gives it to Mexico, puts it through Canada, puts it through different places, mostly Mexico, but also a lot through Canada. And so all three haven't treated us very well.
There was significant.
Can I ask you?
So right there, Trump's basically saying, like, my threats haven't worked. We're done. We're going to put it. Look at how he froze his face. But the threats didn't work. We're still getting screwed by these people. We're doing this. And then there was a whole media blitz today saying that they were going to postpone it to March 1st. Trump came out immediately with, through Carolyn Levitt, said, nope, it's starting tomorrow. We're tariffing them. Canada is freaking out. Canada is like, their economy is so bad. This could send them into a depression. So whatever Trump wants from Canada, it's going to happen fast. Because Canada is just in a horrible horrible place. And Mexico is always bad. So I expect to see stuff there soon too. But I just, it's interesting too. He threw it on China, 10%, because China's getting all the fentanyl to Canada and Mexico and allowing it to cross. So this is the beginning of him asserting the global dominance, and also getting us used to tariffs. Now, when we're done here, he's got another surprise I'm going to let him say, and we'll talk about this in a minute. But when he's done here, I want to, well, anyways, I'm going to let him and I'll come over and talk.
About your meeting with NVIDIA, what did you talk about, and do you think you need to ban more of the chips that they're selling to China?
Well, he's a great gentleman, and I hadn't met him. He's the biggest in the world in terms of chips, and I can't say what's going to happen with it. We had a meeting. It was a good meeting, but eventually we're going to put tariffs on chips. We're going to put tariffs on oil and gas. That'll happen fairly soon. I think around the 18th of February. And we're going to put a lot of tariffs on steel. We already have tariffs on steel, and we've saved our steel industry, but that was relatively small compared to what it'll be. But we're going to be putting tariffs on steel and aluminum and ultimately copper. Copper will take a little bit longer.
So Trump just basically announced to the world, I mean, he just said, we'll tariff oil and lumber and steel and all these precious metals. He basically just announced to the world that the U.S. is going full independent, and we dare you to mess it up. We dare you to screw this up, because if I tariff all this, I'm telling you, we are fine about we're fine with taking care of ourselves. We have what we need here. And this is going to freak the world out, because the world has been living off America for all this time. This is a big deal, him labeling all these different areas. And already the liberals are freaking out, and a lot of other people are freaking out, but they're just saying, it's like, I'm muted.
Industry very strong. If I didn't put the tariffs on years ago on steel, which actually Biden left because there was so much money that they couldn't do anything about it, I think we would have lost. We wouldn't have one steel mill in this country if I didn't do that. We saved the steel industry. So it was an honor to do it. And I think the people that love me most in the whole world are people that make steel. But we're going to be putting sometime this month, next month, we're going to be putting tariffs on steel and aluminum. And we'll give you an announcement as to what the exact date is. But it'll be a tremendous amount of money for our country, a tremendous amount. These are big numbers. And in addition to that, and you see the power of the tariff. I mean, the tariff is good. And nobody can compete with us because we have by far the biggest piggy bank. And
all right, so right there. Yeah, sorry guys, my internet cut for a second, and I could see it. I could see it on my buffering rate. The frame just completely dropped off a cliff. So sorry about that. Having some internet issues. That's why I was late tonight as well. Anyways, did you hear what he just said? Not worried about it. So he just put out, I'm tariffing all this stuff because I'm not afraid of you guys. We got what we need here. And then he says, we don't have to worry. We have the biggest piggy bank. This is very interesting. Let me play it again.
Power of the tariff. I mean, the tariff is good, and nobody can compete with us because we have by far the biggest piggy bank.
Nobody can compete with us because we have by far the biggest piggy bank. What is a piggy bank? A piggy bank is what you hold on to. It's the money you put away. It's not the money you print. So I think that is Trump telling us something, crazy. So is the stream still bad, guys? Is there issues with the stream still? About it. So he just put out, what is a piggy bank? Okay, it looks okay. Restart the stream if you need to, guys. And it's going fine now. So he just basically put the world on blast. And then there's one more he's going to drop.
And so that'll take place very quickly. But also we'll be doing pharmaceuticals. And to bring our industry back, we want to bring pharmaceuticals back to the country. And the way you bring it back to the country is by putting up a wall, and the wall is a tariff wall. We were the richest country in the world. We were at our richest from 1870 to 1913. That's when we were a tariff country. And then they went to an income tax concept, and how did that work out? It's fine. I mean, it's okay, but would have been very much better.
1913, we went to income tax. How did that work out? Okay, but it could have been much better. That's Trump saying he wants to go after the Fed and the income tax again. Now, yeah, Ficus, you're right. We have 64 trillion in debt, or 35 trillion officially, plus unpaid for liabilities, unfunded liabilities. Yep, I agree with you. But he's telling us something that he knows. Trump loves to do this. He knows he can't say certain things, and then he drops a bomb that's like, "Hey, but I know something," and he gives you clues. I hear a lot of people are still saying they have trouble with the screen. Have you guys tried restarting it? Have you tried refreshing it? So yeah, I think if you reload the stream, it'll work, guys, because I see that the buffering's just fine now. All right, I see everything looks fine. Anyways, a very interesting conversation.
So we'll be doing pharmaceuticals, importantly, and drugs, medicines, etc., all forms of medicine and pharmaceuticals. And we'll be doing, very importantly, steel, and we'll also be doing chips and things associated with chips.
So we're going to do chips, we're going to do steel, we're going to do oil, we're doing all this stuff, we're doing pharmaceuticals. He's going to bring it all back. I mean, this is massive, because right now we live off all these other countries. We import. We've become a country that completely just feeds other countries. They all live off of us. We've made terrible deals. We just give them, and the tariffs are going to change all of that. Now, I had some fun earlier with Grok, and I just started talking to it and getting it to explain to me, because there's all these lies out there about why tariffs, everybody's saying tariffs are going to create inflation, tariffs are going to crush our economy, and then he floated the no income tax, and people are freaking out about this. So I went to Grok and I said, Grok, tell me what's going on. Grok is the AI on X. It's like their version of ChatGPT. When I ask it questions like this, I like to use Grok over ChatGPT, because Grok pulls from Twitter too. So it gets all the great thinking from all the people on Twitter as well, and the bad thinking, but a lot of great thinking as well. And it gave me this. So it says, here are the potentials of a major tariff policy in the absence of income tax, focusing on why it could work. Revenue generation could substitute for income tax. Now, it's going to be very difficult to substitute all of it, but you can get it close, and then you throw in some other things like robust energy, get our energy just going nuts. And then you abolish the income. Well, I already said the abolish the income tax. Sorry. You shrink the government. And that's the third one. If Trump does all three of his big economic wins that he's trying to do, which is major tariff policy, major energy, unleashing energy, and then the cutting down government. If he accomplishes all three of those, well, let me show you what I found. So it protects domestic industries. Tariffs can shield newer emerging industries from international competition, giving them time to grow and become competitive. Strategic sectors, protecting key sectors like manufacturing or technology could lead to long-term economic benefits, job creation, industrial diversification, balance of trade, national security, because we're more self-reliant. Remember in COVID when we found out that like 90% of our pharmaceuticals and medical supplies came from China? That should have just woken everybody up right there. Negotiation leverage, we're already seeing that. Policy flexibility. Fiscal policy changes. Government spending might be more responsive to domestic needs, since revenue would be more attached to trade performance. consumer behavior, support for local products, environmental benefits, reduce carbon footprint. We don't even think about this stuff, but this would make the environmentalists happy. Wealth distribution, potential for lower inequality. If tariffs are used to fund public services, I don't necessarily agree with that part, but that's what they say with the income tax. We don't want bigger government again. Forced innovation, I completely agree with that. Preservation of local cultures. I love that. That is a big one too. Now, I asked him, now add all this in, said a policy of abolishing income tax, unleashing energy production, utilizing tariffs, and reducing government size could theoretically bring prosperity and make housing, energy, and food more affordable. Those are the big three: housing, energy, and food. If you can afford your house, if you can get a nice house with an affordable mortgage, and that's not crushing you, and then your electric bill is low, your gas bill is low, you can drive back and forth to work on fill up your tank for $25 to $30. If all that's low, and then food prices either stabilize or go lower while wages are going up, you're not going to care if your phone goes from $800 to $1,200, because this is a once every, well, if you're smart, this should be a once every 2 to 3 year purchase. Some of you out there buy a new one every year. I know you are. I know who you are. How dare you? A Greta Thunberg. How dare you? It's just terrible decisions, but hey, it's your money. But you're not going to care if everything that matters that you cannot, you don't get to decide. You don't get to decide if you buy energy. You don't get to decide if you buy food. You don't get to decide if you buy housing or shelter. You have to pay for all those things. That's just in the budget. That's where all the money goes first all the time. So everything else after that is extra. Everything. If you get those costs lowered, you're not going to care about the effect tariffs have. Yeah, so the dollar store might become the $2.50 store. Who's going to care? You don't need all that junk anyways. That stuff all gets thrown into waste piles anyways. We'll be buying better things. It'll force us to be smarter with money, and you'll use your money for more the good stuff anyways. Building your house, owning a house, making it what you want it to be, traveling more. That's all way better than buying junk. And so when they freak out, and here's the reason they freak out over tariffs, guys, it's not that they actually care that goods will go up. They don't care. They really don't. They care that their system is fake and it will be exposed. Okay? They don't. That's what they don't want to see. They want that system to go on forever, the free money system, the fake system, because that keeps them in power forever. This will change that. This will change that. You'll no longer be enslaved to like your tax coming out of your check. You'll get to decide where your money goes, and it's just so much better. But here's what is possible. Increased disposable income, like I just said, which means economic incentives. Removing income tax can encourage more work, entrepreneurship, lower energy costs, reducing regulations, encouraging domestic energy production. Cost of energy could decrease due to increased supply and competitive markets, less reliance on imports. Job creation, significant growth in the country. Energy independence, which we had under Trump. Utilizing tariffs protects domestic energy. I already went over those ones. Reducing size of government, lower government spending, cuts back on government means less public expenditure, lower taxes elsewhere, more efficient use of public funds. We all want that. Regulatory relief means it's much easier to start your own business, work the way you wanted to work. Fiscal responsibility, less government overhead. There might be less need for borrowing or printing money. Imagine that. Could help control inflation, keeping the cost of living down. Please tell me the downside. Hey, Grok. Tell me what's wrong with all this. It's all better. Here's how housing could get cheaper. Construction boom. If tariffs protect local construction materials, what did Trump just say? Steel, lumber, he's tariffing them. Combined with more disposable income, increased demand for housing. Lead to more construction, possibly lower prices. Reduce regulatory burden. Energy, price reduction because there's more of it. And innovation now. We're more incentivized. Food, agricultural support, tariffs on imported food could support local farmers, potentially lowering prices. Reducing, it's just good. It's good all around. It's amazing how when you actually deep dive into it, the good that can come from all this. And so don't listen to CNBC or Jim Cramer or whoever else is like saying this is a terrible plan. That's what they're either scared because they don't know anything else and they just truly believe in the big government and they need to tax. That's the whole liberal mindset. Or they legitimately are just crooks who want to keep the system the way it is. That's it. Anybody who actually knows, I mean, the AI is telling us, you put all those things together, what Trump wants to do, it will blow up our economy. It will blow up our economy. All right, let me catch up with some of you guys here. Country says, when we bring chips back, can we stop with the seed oils? We don't need to bring chips back there. We can grow them here without seed oils. Yeah. It's almost like our leaders were destroying America and its people. You think so? So now what? That's exactly what was happening. You're 100% right. Jim Boswell says tariffs bring manufacturing back. Amen. Augustine says, I'm for Trump. How can you say we have everything we need and we have been dependent on other countries? Augustine, I'm sorry. If I said we're dependent on other countries, I'm wrong. What we've done is they are dependent on us. And what we've done is we have everything we need here. We have all the resources. We're one of the most resource rich countries in the world. We have more energy than anybody else. We have the manufacturing if we build it back up. We have the labor force. We have the innovation. We have everything we need. We have plenty of people. Okay. We have plenty of land. And so we have everything we need here to be completely insulated. In fact, before World War II, we were very insulated as a country. It's after that we started expanding and going everywhere and doing all this stuff, becoming very globalist. When I meant we're dependent on other countries is that we've created a system that's not necessary, that it only helps them, because we've made deals with all these other countries where they're basically robbing us. That's why the trade deficit is so large. It means our money's going out and we're not getting money back. Okay. That's what a trade deficit is that they're getting all our money and we're not seeing anything back because we barely export anymore. What we do is we start sending our money everywhere. We shut down all the making stuff here. We shut down manufacturing here and we started buying cheap from everywhere. And the way they got us to start doing that is because when it first started happening, people were like, oh my God, I can buy all this stuff. It's amazing. It comes from China. It's cheap. Blah, blah, blah. This is great. It comes from Japan. We get cheap electronics, all that. That's how it started. And so it became more and more cheap clothes. Clothes are way cheaper because they make them in Malaysia for nickels and they sell them over here for $100. It makes them a bunch of money. Or we can go to Walmart, get something that's basically made the same, and we could buy jeans for $15 versus $35 if they're made in America. So we got stuff cheaper, and we kept sending our dollars out. And what happened is we stopped building here. So now, for right now, we're dependent on other nations to send us stuff because we shut stuff down. But we have everything we need here. So all we got to do is fire it back up and we can make everything we need here and we don't need anybody else. So that's what I meant when I said that. Okay. So yes, we don't need anybody else, but this second, we are relying on other people. Maybe that's the other way to say it. We're not dependent on them, but we rely on them. That's a better way to say it. FICA says, I agree with having things made here. Do you know how long it'll take? I'll build all, not very long. Not very long. You release the regulatory burden and you can build fast. You can build really fast. When Elon came to Texas with Tesla, built the biggest gigafactory in the world, the factory didn't take that long, a couple years. And it's massive. I've driven by it. It's huge. It's like a mile long. It's so big where they build the Teslas. It's right outside Austin. Yeah, it's between Austin and Round Rock. I've driven by it, I don't know, 10 times. But you can build really fast if you get the stupid regulations out of the way. Now, some regulations are needed, but there's a lot of stupid ones, especially if you're in states like California, Illinois, New York. But when Trump came in last time in 2017 and started doing some tariffs and bringing stuff back, we turned it around fast. It only takes a couple years. Don't believe all the lies. We build very fast when we want to. Plus, we have a lot of empty buildings. You're right. So we can get going real quick on there. Yeah, we could see home prices come down. Absolutely. Especially if there's an economic downturn. That'll start it. You have an iPhone 7 for 2017? Nice. Fight the Fed says, I don't think we're in the end times, but I don't understand why you don't have the heart to think I could possibly... Are we going to do this again? All I'm going to say is this. The reason I know... well, two things. If I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. If I'm right, I believe the Bible. What the Bible says, nobody knows. So nobody knows. And when I say nobody, Jesus said, I don't know. So I'm not arrogant enough to think that I can figure out the end times are here. And the trend of history right now is that things are getting better, not worse. So that's the only thing that Jesus gave us as a warning. Jim Boswell, DJT wants to rebuild Philly Naval Shipyard to be the largest liquefied natural gas exporter in the world. That'd be awesome. Wow. That'd be amazing. So now it says, once we start, production prices will come down. Yep, exactly. They used to be a nickel and dime store. Well, before inflation. Yep. Amen. Danny, you create less resentment from middle class people making a few bucks less, not all getting the free stuff. Yeah. I mean, there's so much good from this economic plan. It's really unbelievable. It just needs time to be implemented, and it needs buy-in. And guess what? The country's ready. The country's ready because, right now in America, 70% of families can't afford an emergency of $1,000. They just don't have the money on hand. They'd have to put it on credit cards or go borrow the money. 70% of American families. That is not a prosperous nation. All the money's at the top. Okay, so right now, if you have $1,000 in your bank account that you could use in a time of emergency, you are doing better than 70% of Americans. I saw that statistics the other day. It's just mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. So we're at a place where the people are ready for change, radical change. That's why they brought Trump in, and that's why people are going nuts, and they're starting this PSYOP narrative. This is not what they voted for. Voters don't want radical change. No, I see it everywhere. All the Democrats are saying it because that's their PSYOP. They're trying to convince us we don't want change when we do. When a Democrat says something, always know that the opposite is true. They are the masters of projection and the masters of the PSYOP, or at least they used to be, but we've defeated it. So we do want massive change. We did vote for it, and we're going to get it. We are going to get it one way or the other. What we're seeing, it's miracles. God is all over this stuff. It is incredible what has happened with this. The election was a miracle. What Trump's already gotten done is a miracle. These people getting confirmed into the cabinet seats are miracles. I really believe there's still a very good chance we get everybody. I'm a little worried about Tulsi, but I think we're going to get everybody. And radical change is here because that's what the people voted for, because it's time for America to enter into a better season. We're entering into a better time. I do believe it's a golden age for America coming, and I'm so excited for it. Brett says, since they'll be getting rid of fentanyl or slowing it down, means crack futures could be on the rise. Yeah, Cass Inc., I'm going to go to there. So part of all this, tax dollars are spent on redistribution, but it's also spent to keep us under control, So that's one of the reasons it's used. Adam says green screen image has a hard flash every time it recycles. All right. I'm sorry. I will work on getting a better image. Thank you for pointing that out, Adam. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you, Mark, if you haven't forgotten. FICA says, I disagree. We get the actual goods. They get our dollars printed out of thin air. Seems like a win for us. The problem is those dollars we still do take accountability for. So, Good night, Just Mike. Brett says the only problem with that mass building in Texas was the taxing districts and via. Well, yeah, there's so much taxing. Property taxes in Texas are insane. That's how they get around the income tax. Lyrical, looking at the plane crash moves way too fast. I agree with you. Yeah. Matt says, according to AI and nanotechnology, by 2050, people can live 400 years. Well, I'll believe that when I see it. But that would be cool. That would be cool. Drew, I love change and pulling through with this word. Chelsea got confirmed already. I'm sure. No, she didn't. She might have gone through committee, but that's different than being confirmed. They haven't had the confirmation votes yet. So, all right. I got a couple other things. Just speaking of, so somebody just brought this up. Oh no, they didn't. I'm going to get to this. Just makes me laugh. So the Pentagon just informed. Talking about winning, talking about changing things, talking about radical change. Pentagon has informed its resident press corps that NBC, New York Times, NPR, and Politico will rotate out of the building to give space to New York Post, Breitbart, One American News, and Huffington Post. This is so funny. This is so stinking funny. Okay. The New York Post is like the Republican, but old school Republican. So it's conservative, but not really MAGA. They're bringing them in and kicking out New York Times. They're bringing in Breitbart, which is awesome. They're just hardcore conservative. OANN, same thing, hardcore conservative MAGA. And then they're like, and HuffPost, which is like left wing, but they're like, we're being fair. We're letting all these lower outlets in. It's just beautiful that they did it that way, because now they can say they're not just favoring conservatives, but they're busting up NBC, New York Times, NPR, which is the government run, and Politico. They just kicked them out of the local offices for the press corps. This is so funny. This is so funny. And they've announced to them that every year there's going to be a rotation now. And it's not just these 8. So New York Times, it could be 4 or 5 years till they get their office back, which just makes me so happy. But they're going to keep rotating in online and independent media along with the old school ones. Again, they kicked out the mainstream media, guys. They kicked them out. They said, you're not as good. You're not. Well, what they said is, you're not better than these other guys. You're the same. That drives them nuts. So I just thought that was so hilarious. Yeah. Chuck Todd's gone, which is great. Okay. So Department of Justice has ended their lawsuit against Virginia for removing illegals from the voter rolls, which means now all 50 states can do voter roll purging, which is incredible. It's going to happen. There were lawsuits that slapped down some of this during this last election. We still won. So imagine what's going to happen now that it's open for all 50 states to do this. Of course, the blue states won't, but they could, especially if Trump and the Republicans get law passed, national voter law passed. So this is really opening up the door for reform there. I'm kind of popcorning these, like shotgunning these real quick here, guys. All right. Here is the bloodbath of the past 24 hours, deep state bloodbath. This is beautiful. All federal prosecutors handling January 6 cases fired. Their computers are locked, marched out of their offices by security. Bye, Felicia. Computers are locked, which means they probably were working and their computers got locked up, so they couldn't do anything. They couldn't delete. They couldn't hide anything. And now they're gone. All the federal prosecutors handling January 6th. David Sundberg, FBI Assistant Director at the helm of Jan 6 investigations, fired. 20 leaders of FBI field offices escorted out of buildings across the country. The 51 intelligence officers who spread misinformation about Hunter Biden's laptop interfering in elections are now banned from entering federal properties. Huge. And lost all their security clearance. Federal employees required to return to the office with noncompliance leading to termination. Bolton and Brennan permanently banned from government buildings. This is huge. So we already knew Bolton and he got his security detail taken away. They banned John Brennan, guys. John Brennan is one of the worst people in the world. Is this him right here? Yeah. This man is as corrupt as they get. He came out as converting to Islam right in the middle of the war on terror. Okay, just didn't care. CIA director under Obama. There are many, many people who believe that John Brennan is actually the mastermind behind the takeover of the Democratic Party that tried to destroy America. That he's the puppet master behind Obama and Biden, Hillary Clinton. There's a lot of people who believe that about him. I don't know for sure. I'm just putting out there what a lot of people believe. But the long story short, he's an evil man. And so this is hugely symbolic today, that he is now banned from entering any federal building. You better believe his security clearance is revoked. This is a sign, guys. This is a sign that the head of the snake is being removed. That's what I truly believe. So, big news on the John Brennan part. All right, let's keep going down here. Banned all pronouns today. All 2 million feds sent resignation offer. So, just huge stuff. In 11 days. So Trump 1.0, 2017 came in, Republicans backstabbing him. Immediately they're getting him tied up in investigations, Russia, all this stuff to hold him back. And Trump 1.0 is not able to fully drain the swamp. Not everybody's on board. He's a little hesitant to go scorched earth because he's trying to play along with everybody. He thinks more people are on his side than really are. And it just doesn't happen. Trump 2.0, within 2 weeks, I am gutting the deep state. And I will spend the rest of the time continuing to find every single way I can drain this swamp. Already in 2 weeks, he has accomplished more victories against the deep state than he did in his entire first administration. And on top of that, he hasn't even gotten his team in yet. He hasn't even gotten Kash Patel in yet. He did get Radcliffe at CIA. He hasn't gotten Kash Patel in at FBI yet, or Bondi hasn't been confirmed yet either. Pretty crazy stuff. All right, let's keep going here. The Treasury Department's top career official quit today after a feud with Elon, giving Doge workers access to the system responsible for more than $6 trillion in payments granted by Trump's executive order. So the main guy at the Treasury Department today, whatever was going on with these payments, he didn't want them getting in. Elon is like, look, I'm here. Doge has clearance. Trump has allowed us in. We're getting into your computers. We're seeing where all this money is going. And the guy quit over it. That is massive. That tells you right there, the guy doesn't want to be there when crap goes down. He got ahead of it. He's like, I'm out. I'm not doing this. What are we about to find out? This is big stuff. Treasury Department's top career official, probably the longest serving guy there, or at least close to it. Just wild stuff happening, guys. Wild stuff happening. Doppler Dave, what's going on? Has anyone watched Mel Gibson movie called Flight Risk? Interesting timing. No, I'll check that out. I think I saw the preview. It looked pretty good. Matt M, going to have those nanobots in your blood? Oh, God bless you with that. That's badass, says Toe Cramp. He knows. Toe Cramp knows about Brennan. Richard, what's this about magnetic field? Huh. Interesting. I'll have to look into that, see what's going on. And hey, my last story of the night, and I just wanted to laugh about this because it's hilarious. So Selena, who was crying over deportations the other day, 800 Instagram followers were like, peace, we're good. We don't need you anymore. So that's pretty amazing stuff. Just hilarious. There's so much winning right now. Oh my God. It's so awesome. This first 12 days of Trump has been better than anything I ever could have imagined. It is the most fun I've ever had in politics. It's the most excited I've ever been for our country. Listen, maybe some of you older guys and gals understood this when maybe you felt this a little bit under Reagan. I don't know. I wasn't old enough to remember. I was born in 83. But I lived during Reagan. I don't remember him. Maybe you felt it a little bit. I don't know. I can't speak to that. But I can tell you that in my 41 years of life, that as far as I can remember, this is the best it's ever felt. And we haven't even gotten the biggest wins yet. It's just been 12 days. We basically have the whole 4 years left, guys. We basically have the 4 years left. We got 3 years and 50 weeks left of this. This is the best. It's so much better than Trump was truly correct when all those years he was saying the best is yet to come, even when he was off in the wilderness. So anyways, on that note, guys, I'm going to pray and call it a night because it is late, but I hope you enjoyed an extra Friday live. There's just too much going on. So Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless everybody here. Thank you for them, Lord. They are just an amazing group of people. Thank you for their support. Thank you for the members' support, everything they do for me, God, and just I love this community. So bless them, Lord. Bless President Trump, protect President Trump, and give him wisdom and everything he's got to deal with. Give his team wisdom and protect them as well. Pray that all his nominees get through, Lord, so true radical change can happen in every department in the government. And Father, I just pray more and more people keep waking up, more people get excited as this happens. And so the change for America needs can truly happen in a sweeping wave. And just bless everybody here as they navigate their own lives and finances. And I just pray, God, that we truly enter into a more prosperous, amazing time here over the next few years. And we can all truly experience, for not just for our sake, but for our kids' sake and the grandkids' sake, the best times we've ever yet seen in our country. And I believe that's your will for us, God. And thank you for that. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful weekend.